Did I not call it? Oh my goodness. So as I've said before, if a win can be taken away from you at the simple click of a button, then that's not a win, pimpin'.
He's out of line, but he's right.
This is something that I echoed in the previous video when I was talking about Shabuzi, when it came to, hey, we should be trying to go for power, not acknowledgement, right? Not trophies. We should be trying to go for power. We should be trying to secure power, because when you don't secure power, this is what happens. And what I'm referring to is, a group of African Americans who identify themselves as FBA, Foundational Black Americans. And there was a clip that was done via ABC. And ABC mentioned, this group of African Americans. And just like that, within a day's time, the clip is gone. It's been eradicated from the internet. It's not on ABC website. It's not on their YouTube page. They privated the video. It's no longer there. And, the problem is that many of these people were celebrating this. Oh, we made it. Look, they think it's just an online thing. Look, we made it. And I was completely just perplexed by this Sambo, house Negro mentality.
Damn.
Because first and foremost, the fact that they even are aware of the term should give you pause, right? Anytime the lineage of evil is aware of what y'all are trying to do, that should give you pause. You should be like, wait, hold up. We gotta recalculate this, because they have the resources, they have the allies to try and bring about, counter opposition. The second part is, well, if y'all know this, right? Because this isn't the first time they probably heard this. If y'all know this, why haven't you been advocating on our behalf this entire time? Why haven't you been putting out videos that, that are putting, reparations and our agendas to the forefront? No. All this is the same thing when it came to Nancy Pelosi and the Kente cloth. That's all this is. This is just, a pat on the head. It's acknowledgement. And the issue that I have really is that somehow tangibles transformed into acknowledgement.
Damn.
Tangibles transformed into delineation.
Damn.
It's now no longer about, hey, well, I want tangibles. I want this, and this. Now it's about, well, I want to delineate. And that right there strikes me as, COINTELPRO operation, which I've said before, what I believe this to be, a COINTEL operation. Because when Black people were talking about tangibles, they were actually looking at who is offering them, what are they offering us, it very quickly switched to, well, delineation. Don't worry about tangibles. We got to delineate first. That's what we have to focus on. And it's like, yo, that's a trick bag. That's a trick bag in the most sense of the word, because this right here shows you, hey, without power, you have nothing.
Wake up, nigga.
Because the moment in time you get comfortable and start celebrating the lease, you then stop wanting to own.
Damn.
You have to understand two different things, the lease and ownership. This whole ABC segment, y'all see just as quickly as they gave it to you, they can take it away. And all these Negroes is still, they saved the video. I mean, that's as pathetic as it gets to me, honestly. I'm like, bro, toss that aside. That's nothing. That means nothing. The moment, you're celebrating a video, because the video didn't give you reparations. The video didn't stop police brutality. The video didn't stop any, doctors letting Black women die in the hospitals, or letting them, not have care for them and send them on their way so they can have their babies in their cars. The video didn't help as far as the education system in the communities. The video didn't stop gentrification. All it was acknowledgement.
I miss you like a hog miss fly, like a baby miss mammy titty.
And if that's what you want, that's what you get. And it seems that is what Black people in this country have wanted. Politically speaking, that is. That's what they've wanted, and that's what we've received. We received a pat on the head. So when you then complain, well, what about this people? What about that people? What about that people? They don't stop just at acknowledgement. They want action behind that acknowledgement. That's great that you don't agree with Candace Owens and the anti-Semitism. How are you going to show that?
You want me to kiss your... That's right, apologize.
Tell me what you're going to do to put this belief into action. That's how they work. But it seems that dudes Due to the I don't know, like I said, post-traumatic slave syndrome, due to that slave syndrome that we have, we just want acknowledgement. We just want that pat on the head. And that is not going to cut it. And I say that to say this, because there is a fight in San Francisco regarding reparations. And to be honest with you, I think that people who are raising money, whether it's for schools, museums, books, documentaries, whatever it is, I think what should be happening is that money should be raised to put Black people through law school. That's what should be happening. It should be raised to put, if Black people are in law school, it should be raised to get them half of the way, the rest of the way there. That's what it should be used to. It should be used, as a war chest to fund our freedom fighters. That's what it should be used to, not to line the pockets of people who are hustling the community. So when we look at what's going on in San Francisco with reparations, they're trying to bring forth reparations to African Americans who are descendants of chattel slavery, and they're having an obstacle. Now, naturally, that's obviously going to happen, but people are filing lawsuits. And this is where I would argue, I think there should be more of these, because the more lawsuits you file, the more you get to see where the gaps are. You get to see, where the countersuits are coming from. What are they arguing? This violates the law or this violates that. But in this lawsuit in San Francisco, what they're saying is now they're attacking lineage. That's what they're attacking. They're attacking ancestry. That, hey, you can't do a law based off of race and ancestry. And what they argue is that it has to have strict scrutiny. That when you look at what they're trying to do in San Francisco, because they're talking about, hey, there's going to be tax incentives, there's going to be education incentives, there's going to be a cash payment. Like, they're trying to do the works. And, these group of, lineage of evil, these racists are like, nah. That violates this, and this. Even in California, 209, you can't give incentives to someone based off of their race or their ancestry. So that's what they're trying to fight it. And I think this case right here is extremely important in the fulfillment of reparations going forward, because you can see how they're attacking. Because if you look at the Japanese, and this is something I've mentioned before, we can just copy what they've done and what other groups have done. And when you look at reparations for, Black Americans or descendants from slavery, right, chattel slavery, well, the crucial argument, the difference that I've seen is that when it came to the Japanese, they didn't say, hey, this is solely for the Japanese, because that's what they argue in their lawsuit, is that, hey, you're gatekeeping via race or ancestry. Now, when it came to Japanese, it was more focused on the event, right? If you happen to be in this event, you get reparations, okay? And now it just so happened to coincide that the only people in this event happen to be of this race. Versus, hey, only this race gets these reparations. Versus how you would have to frame it is that, hey, if you happen to be a slave during this period of time and were negatively impacted by the segregation laws and whoop-de-whoop, yada, 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 that qualifies you for reparation. So it's very different, very nuanced how you have to frame things to be legally sound. So that is, from what I've read of their lawsuit, that is the crux of their argument. Hey, you're doing this off of, race and ancestry. But in addition to that, what the law also tries to argue is that, hey, if there is an alternative, a race neutral alternative, you should have to seek that first. Okay, that if you, even if it is a race or ancestry that has been harmed, if there is a race neutral alternative that will give the same outcome, okay, a similar outcome, that is the solution. And then you start to think about, okay, now I understand why they have these race neutral laws that, they have in certain Black neighborhoods, or they have for, Black communities, or they try to do for Black people. Nevertheless, I just wanted to put that out here by saying, don't latch on to the ABC News story. Don't latch on to anything these demons give you. This is like doing a deal with the devil. You should not even have been celebrating that video, because what that relates to them is like, look, we gave them a little video, gave them a little bit of acknowledgement, and they think it's the end of the world. They think, oh, we made it. And they just took it away from you.
Wake up, nigga.
And this is a bigger issue that I've brought up in previous videos, and that has to do with, hey, quality control. You can create the term FBA and try to say, well, it's not a group, it's a lineage. And if that's the case, by all means, it's a lineage. So be it, okay? If you're a Black American, you want to go under the term of FBA, by all means. But understand there are people who don't want to go under that term. They want to stay as Black American, or they want to stay as African and still be a part of that lineage. So be it. But what you also have to understand is that upon you labeling yourself as such, you have got to have some quality control, okay? Because when you start being labeled as a hate group or a xenophobic group, or you have people who identify themselves as FBA that are spewing anti-African, or anti-immigrant, whatever it is, whatever, the hate speech is that they want to call it, you have to understand that that is guilt via association. Now, that one person or that two people or that three people, however it is, they are a negative reflection on the group. Because I would argue that upon a few people just saying, hey, this is the leader of this group, this is what, these FBA people have been talking about when it comes to immigrants, when it comes to Africans, they're very pro-MAGA, yada, yada, yada. Listen, dunzo. Dunzo. Just like that. Because no one wants to be associated with that. And no one wants to even be accused of platforming a hate group.
He's out of line, but he's right.
That's what you have to understand. That's the fringe part of the internet. That's not going to be on mainstream media. That's not what's going to happen. So that's another issue that has to be taken into account. Like I said, there can be no code without code enforcers. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think, whether or not Lucas, actually, I don't know. What's the alternative perspective here? I don't understand. I mean, it's clear as day that, hey, the goal should be power. The goal should not be a shout out, bruh. Y'all celebrating over a shout out. Okay, that's insane. And it's not even a shout out by your own people. It's a shout out by the lineage of evil. ABC. Who owns ABC, fam? Do you think those are FBA? Do you think those are Black Americans? Oh, we're going to give them this one. And it's Black History Month, okay? I find it interesting that when Kamala Harris is referring to reparations or anything, oh, that's pandering, right? When it comes to a Black man, it's pandering. But you got ABC talking about, oh, the FBA and, this is what they've done. Oh, yeah, look, we made it. Y'all gotta check yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right, come on now. Anyways, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me Thursday through Saturday. Disagreement day. Number on the screen, you call in, we duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on this situation. And subscribe. And that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing.
Black Americans whose ingenuity, innovations, and labor play a critical role in American culture and infrastructure.